Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Next Car Game. It's a weird name for a game, but it's also a literal name for a game because this is the next vehicular game, racing and combat, from Bugbear. And you may know Bugbear as the Finnish developers that were responsible for the Flatout series, if I remember correctly. Games that I did not play, but I know that a lot of people are extraordinarily big fans of them. Next car game I am covering, it's in Steam Early Access, it's $15. I'm covering it not because it's ready to be covered necessarily, but because it's generating a ton of attention, and I kind of wanted to weigh in with my 2 cents because it's one of those games like Rust or DayZ, but to a lesser extent here, that's getting a ton of buzz, and some of it deserved, but also I want to kind of tear the hype down a little bit and be like, what are you actually getting right now? Which is not to say that this is not going to be a fantastic product when it actually comes out, but is more to say this is what you're getting right now. So for $15, you are getting a few different events, basically. You're getting a Destruction Derby, which you can do with 24 or 12 cars and maybe some more. And also, there are some races that you can do. So this is all you've got here. You've got, two different kinds of derby, two different tracks that you can run on, and then also, some variations with the number of racers that you can go against. We're going to do, like, a 12-car race on tarmac to start with. And, you can change your assist here as you see fit. But I wanted to bring this up just to point out that, Next Car Game is very impressive already, but it's also just kind of a tech demo. So if you're picking that up, you should have that in mind. That being said, it is an impressive tech demo. I am somebody who is into racing games, on the Xbox One and the PS4. Basically, all I've played nearly exclusively on each one is Need for Speed. Rivals, that was it. Shows how much of an impression that left on me, although I guess I did like it a lot, but I've forgotten the subtitles just because, subtitle fatigue with the Need for Speed franchise, and Forza 5 on the Xbox One as well. Regardless of how you feel about the new consoles, I feel like those are both very decent racing games, but I always long for one on the PC, and there's things like iRacing, there's things like, Project Cars, which is excellent as well, but this could be genuinely, when it comes out, something that kind of fits that space between sim and arcade racer. And really, that's awesome. I am very much looking forward to it. The full release of this, as of right now, it is pure fucking carnage. We'll go to the Demolition Derby after this, because that's kind of like the main hook of what's going on. But what are the major strengths of Next Car Game as it stands right now? 100% extremely impressive modeling and physics. Basically, when you get hit, it seems like every piece of your car, every sliver of metal, every, broken piece of glass is independently modeled and is based on the physics of what you would expect to actually happen. As far as how the game controls, it's... Oh, no, don't turn me around. Don't smash me into the wall. It's definitely far more arcadey than simmy, but it does have some simmy-type elements, and of course I say that as there was like a 3-car pileup and one car like flies through the sky. It's not Burnout, not quite, but it's also not, it's not Project Cars, which a lot of people as well, when I did my Project Cars Let's Look at last year, people were like, this guy thinks this game is sim, like, you gotta check out X game. I'm not playing this with my track IR. This is a game I can sit down with a controller and just kind of jam out with. So yeah, watch, as we play, the way that the cars get their damage modeled and kind of the debris that flies around. I hope that it translates well enough to video for you to, realize that this is a very visually impressive game. It looks really good. Like, look at the way that the paint is kind of messed up on my car there, the front panel. As it is right now, from a racing standpoint, it's a little shallow. There's no career mode. You're basically just enjoying yourself, kind of farting around the track. There's no GP style thing going on, and really those are your only two modes: is single race and demolition. But it does lay the framework of what this will actually be when it comes out, and I think it's a very impressive framework. Now, hopefully, we actually go to encounter some AI here, so that we can perhaps... Oh, that was a terrible turn. So that we can perhaps see some more damage modeling, or I can just crash into the wall and you'll see it that way. But you'll see a lot of damage modeling during the demolition race anyway. Additionally, it's like Episode 1 Pod Racer or something. Your car does have individual kind of components to some extent that you can see down there in the bottom left. Those colors indicate, basically the frame of our car and, areas of our car, geometrically speaking, and how damaged they are. So, the back left of my car is pretty messed up right now, but the back right and the middle right are actually doing pretty okay. So if we take hits, ideally we'll be able to take them there, and there is a little bit of a combat racing style, I don't want to say aesthetic, but mechanic going on here. You're not firing rocket launchers at your AI enemies or companions, but you can knock people out of the race, and the game does reward you for that, or it seems like it wants to reward you because it brings up a big takedown with an exclamation point. As far as how it controls differently than a lot of other racing games. At least with this car, this is probably because this is a rear-wheel drive car. At least I'm guessing by its American muscle Pontiac Sunbird or Thunderbird style paint job. It's rear wheel drive. It controls a little slippery, but it controls well as well. When you actually start nailing the corners, it feels good. Again, from an authenticity standpoint, I have no idea how that holds up, but I do know that it feels satisfying enough, although there is a learning curve associated with it as well. So we're about to finish this race. We got like one more corner to go, so why don't I try to, if possible, take one of these guys out and... oh! There was an accident there. There's a lot of accidents that happen, and they look very visually impressive when they do happen. I finished in 4th, which, to be quite honest with you, I think is pretty good. Usually I end up not being able to finish a race because I just crash too much. So we're going to go back to the garage here. So that's the racing mode. We might take a look at the other track. It's a gravel track, so it's a little bit more slippery and slidey. But you know, if you're buying this game right now, you're not buying it for what it is. You're buying it for what it will be. We could also, if we wanted to, change our car into like this kind of, I don't know, reliance thing that we've got going on here. And we can enter this in the demolition derby. So let's do a demolition derby. We'll start with 24 cars. It's utter chaos, but it's also, you know, hilarious because that's what it's meant to be at the current moment. And I guess the reason that people are excited about this game is, you know, the way that it does model the damage and also the reputation that Bugbear has. And that's cool. As someone who's never played the Flatout games, even just putting my hands on the controller for an hour or two that I've played this with so far. By the way, that's pretty heady praise in and of itself. That such a limited, basically tech demo has kept me engaged as I've been playing it for an hour or two. Just getting my hands on the controller, I can understand why people would be interested in this kind of aesthetic. Because, you know, this game, or this kind of game, is not really made that often anymore. So the way that the Demolition Derby works is basically you play until you get taken out. And there are 23 opponents. You want to be the last one standing. I grew up in a rural area. Oh, what have I done to myself? Probably shouldn't have gone so fast. I grew up in a rural area. Demolition Derbies, I'm familiar with them. The strategy that you want here is to go backwards so that you take damage to non-essential parts of your car, and the enemies take damage to essential parts of their car, like the engine, for example. Apart from that, I know basically nothing about cars. So that's all the analysis it'll give you. But, you know, I've been to the Odessa Fair a few times, man. I've seen people get chopped up in those demolition derbies. That was a basically racist accent, and I apologize for that. But anyway, let's go to town on this guy right here. That must have done some damage. To be honest with you, I probably should have taken the other car. Look at how chopped up, like, these English cars, these European cars, I should say, get. The damage modeling is really, really impressive, and it looks different every single time. I don't think I've seen the same kind of, like, impact craters on a car more than once. Mind you, that might change. Oh, I could have probably gotten that guy. There's only 18 opponents left. I may actually live fairly long here. And this is kind of like a cool track as well. I mean, that much should be pretty obvious, but, you know, there's ramps and a huge, like, half pipe, basically, that we can use to do some damage as well. But this is what you're getting in next car game right now, and this is what... Oh, no. That could have been bad. If we flip over, usually it'll let us get back in unless we've damaged our car to the point where it's beyond critical. This is what you're getting in next car game right now. I really thought that would take him completely out. And that's why I wanted to do a video of it, because I've been seeing people talk about it, and yeah, it's cool. It's really cool, and I'm super excited for what it's going to be when it actually comes out. But, you know, for early access games that get a lot of hype, I do think there is some merit, at least, to the premise of, oh, I really thought he'd be dead, but I might actually be dead. I think there's some merit to the premise of, you know, analyzing them in the same way you would analyze a finished product, which is not to say, like, this is how it is and this is how it'll always be, but this is what you're getting with next car game right now. So there's a lot of hype associated with the game, and I understand why, but keep in mind that you're getting a very, very limited product as you buy it right now. Is that man still alive inside of that car? He's, like, missing the entire front half. Which is not to say, by the way, don't buy it right now. Because if you do buy it right now, you're going to probably have a decent amount of fun with even the very limited modes that you've got going on. But it's a more ambitious project that currently has fairly inauspicious beginnings, I guess. Why would you just crash into that? Maybe to bait me into crashing into it. What I will say, what would I like to see in next car game in the future? Some of these are going to be no-brainers. Oh, you got me. 8th place is still pretty good. Let's do that one more time because that was a lot of fun. Online multiplayer is a no-brainer. Being able to do a demolition derby like this with your friends would be hilarious and a whole lot of fun. Apart from that, like an actual career mode, more tracks, and definitely more cars. And obviously that's stuff that I expect will actually be on the way. But as of right now, you know, even if you're talking about, like, early access, if this enters beta and it has some of those things, this becomes a much, much easier product to recommend. I don't know if it's going to cost more when it actually comes out of early access. Some games cost more, some games cost less, depending on how they view that things should happen there. Oh, okay, we can at least hit someone here. There we go. So that's your engine hit with 10 pounds of British steel. I'm going to try to go over the other ramp. Okay, we're still alive here. That was a little dangerous, but I like having the half pipe here, because it makes it very easy for you to get some speed going backwards, which is sometimes a concern. I think that was a pretty good hit. Mind you, of course, the caveat to going backwards is that you do also go more slowly when you go backwards. But I believe our engine is in the front of this car, so it makes more sense to try to just stay alive for as long as possible. I would like to get one takedown. Oh, that was probably bad for business. Turns out we actually lived through that pretty well. Let's see if we can get this guy. Homing in. Stay on target. Ooh, I don't know if I want to be in the middle of this right now. But yeah, you know, even if you just kind of like take some time. That was poor of me. If you just take some time and kind of look out on the carnage as you're playing, look at how like many individual pieces of debris are kind of like littering the field right now. Glass, rubber, tires, pieces of your windshield, you know, pieces of plastic. I gotta stop going so high on that thing. At least you'll see what happens when I flip over, I guess. Oh, sorry for the nauseating camera angle there as well. You know, my car's actually, like, not in awful shape. Maybe I should just give someone the old business end right here. Yeah, that guy's dead. Like, I straight up murdered that man. I saw his own life flash before his eyes. Also, my tires are, like, totally busted. And it looks like my... Wait a minute. Is my engine actually on the back of my car here? I am noticing that there is an engine-like structure. See how little I know about cars? Okay, don't flip over. Don't flip over. You got the weight to stay on that ramp. Okay. Where are my enemies to be sundered and killed? Okay, that was beautiful. Only 5 opponents left. We can do this, little Reliant K. That's a band. What am I? Reliant Regal? That's the name of the car. That's a 3-wheeled car, though, so I'm just... Clearly, I just don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. I don't think that's... Yeah, that's not going to be a takedown, but you can see... Like, really, the game looks super nice. That's the main thing that it's got going for it right now. And kind of this ethos of, like, demolition that a lot of games don't really have. And, you know, racing games on PC is a pretty, you know, small genre to begin with, unfortunately. There's a lot... It's changed a little bit. You know, the dirt games and the grid games come out on PC, and those are really, really good. At least that's the reputation that they have. I haven't actually played much of the dirt games beyond the console versions myself, but... I'm glad to see that the racing genre maybe is going through a little bit of a genesis, if you will, on PC, because this is, you know, as of right now, the most powerful platform, and it's what I want to play racing games on, and if this is as good as it has the potential to be, fantastic. So we're only 2 opponents left in the game now. Is that one of them, or is he actually deceased? I think that man is actually dead. Oh, there he is! Okay, so we can actually win this demolition derby. This is crazy, because this will be the first time. His car looks pretty fucked up, but so does mine, so... What is he doing here? Was that him that just... Oh, God! Okay, we can get him. It's like a weird little futuristic Minority Report car or something. Okay, here we go. Line it up. Why are there still multiple people moving? Hey! Oh, sorry, 2 opponents means I'm in the top 3. Gotcha, so there's still 1 left. I won! I did not expect that to happen. I'm probably the best next car game player of all time. Feel free to ask me for advice. I'm going to switch my channel to exclusively making next car game demolition derby videos for the next 2 years. 700 episodes. Get hype. It's going to be a good time. Sincerely, I got very lucky there. Usually I do very poorly. Let's go. We'll do one more race to finish this out, and you can check out the other track. Again, this is what it needs. The game needs more tracks. 24-person race on gravel is just chaos. In fact, maybe that's what we should go with, just to start with here, because you'll see a lot of crashes happening right at the start, and that's kind of the draw, isn't it? But yeah, that's what the game needs more of. As of right now, beautiful framework. It's got a fantastic engine. If we're going to put it in car terms, you know, you got a good chassis on this thing right now. Now you need to make it a little bit more drivable. You need to give people a reason to get in. Comfortable seats, you know, satellite radio. I know so little about cars. The other parts of a car that are necessary to help it drive better. Anyway, we'll have some fun here. Oh, this is... Okay, that guy is, like, straight up deceased. Let's get back on the road here. We're in 23rd place, but there's a big difference between 23rd and 24th, when 24th means you're dead, and 23rd means you're still pretty okay. So this car is exceptionally hard to handle on this track because of the dirt and the gravel. Oh, God, I can't get out of the way. It's okay, it's okay. To be honest with you, like, the 24 vehicle races, I find a little nuts right now. I mean, that's part of the draw. Oh, Jesus. That's part of the draw for sure, but I prefer the 12-person races, which are a little bit crazy, a little bit zany, but you know, still manageable as well. A lot of these, just I find myself getting taken down very, very early. It's okay. We're in 23rd place, but it could be worse. We could be flipped over on the side of the road like that guy. Actually, we've made some seriously good progress here. I really thought that I could jump that. Also, I'm pretty sure I can't smash through the fence. Oh, I can, but it just, you know, knocks me around a little bit. All right, we're back in 21st. This is pretty good. So yeah, next car game, you know, as it stands right now, is this a game that is worth $15 in its current state? No. Am I confident that you would have fun with it if you bought it in its current state? Yes. Am I confident that it's going to be fun in its full release? Reasonably so. Yes. I'm very much looking forward to it. The basically tech demo that we've got going on here is a little bit bare bones with respect to its features, but it's fun nonetheless. And a lot of early access games can't say that. You know, a lot of early access games, you play them, and they're either so feature barren that they're not fun, or they're feature complete and they're not fun. And you're like, well, not feature complete, but you know, relatively complete. The concept is there. And they're not fun, and you're just like, well, this game, when it comes out, is probably not going to be fun as well. This is feature barren, but even despite that, is a whole hell of a lot of fun. And let's put it this way, I think they have to try harder to bung it up at this point than they would to actually make this a more engaging product. So there's some very logical steps I think that Bugbear can take and make this game a very attractive purchase for people who are into racing games like this and demolition games like this when it actually comes out. And I have no idea how long it's set to be in development for. It still feels fairly early. But we'll see, I guess. Consider that like the weirdest positive review or impression I've ever given to a game. Is it good? Yeah. Should you buy it? Maybe, but probably not, unless you're like really, really into the kind of like physics and modeling that's going on here. Should you buy it in, you know, 20 months? Almost certainly, if you're into this kind of stuff. It's a very weird place to be in a game like this, but I like it a lot. I like it a lot, and I can't wait to like it more, basically, unless something absolutely god-awful happens. And again, it goes without saying that the damage modeling is so crazy, and the debris modeling as well. The fact that there's so many individual pieces of debris. You know, the backgrounds, the car models themselves are not necessarily the most impressive out of the entire class of racing games. Racing games have a reputation for usually looking visually really, really good. But the fact that there's so many independent pieces of debris really, really works. I'm going to switch cars, and because I'm having fun with this, I'm actually going to go and we'll do a 12-person race on gravel instead. Actually, let's do a 24-person race on tarmac, and I'll just try to get in as many accidents as possible so you can see what's going on with the physics engine here. This is a weird video for me. I'm interested for feedback in the comments, because I was like, am I going to cover next car game? I've had a copy for, you know, a couple of weeks now, and I played it, and I was like, there's not a lot to show off here, but I'm having fun with it regardless. And, you know, like a lot of websites, I'm actually revamping the way that I deal with early access games. Previously, because they would come out on, like, the Steam Coming Soon and New Releases tab. Whenever I saw a game on the New Releases tab, oh, this poor guy. I would be like, okay, well, I'll send a review request and I'll cover that. Now, because they don't show up on new releases, I tend to not cover early access games unless they... Wow, okay. That guy's dead. Unless they contact me first and they're like, okay, our game's ready to show off. Maybe, like, make a video of it and let people know what you think. So I don't know. I'm experimenting with that. I do think that, you know, reviewers and critiquers, whatever, people who do what I do, have an obligation to, if an early access game is bad, say that it's bad because people can spend hard-earned money on it. But now that those games aren't really being advertised, it does change things a little bit, but that release model is also becoming increasingly prevalent, and games like Rust and DayZ and Next Car Game are selling, you know, millions of copies, or at least hundreds of thousands of copies. And it seems weird to be like, oh, we're not going to cover that until everybody already knows how good it is or how bad it is, if that makes sense. I don't know. Just food for thought as I go through my race here. I guess it's my my instinct, unfortunately. I can't make myself crash. I can accidentally crash like that, but I can't force myself to crash into other cars, because I want to win the race, man. Let's put a smile on that face. Okay, let's get in like one more accident here, and then we can end the video, I think. Can I get... Okay, slam on the brakes. Textbook initial D-style turn there. I'm just, basically what I want to do, you know what I want to do. You've played racing games before where you were not doing very well. I want to T-bone the bejesus out of somebody, so when we go around a corner, they turn and they're like, oh, I love my wife, I love my kids, and you're just like, I have nothing to live for, and you slam into them at full speed while going straight. So, they're doing a very good job of getting far ahead of me right now, unfortunately. I think this map actually does look pretty nice. It's, you know, not, again, from a car model and a tarmac and an environmental standpoint, it's not the prettiest looking racing game out there, at least not right now, but it is very, very impressive in all other respects with respect to the graphics and the engine. Okay, So, we slow down because we want to be able to speed up later. That's basically... Oh, you dick, you did the same thing to me. That's all right. I'll get 73. I got my eye on you. Here we go. We're coming around the corner. And not even close, but we still got one more lap. That's okay. I mean, look at these tires, man. No slowdown, really, and I'm running this with fraps as well. With fraps off, it runs even more smoothly. You're dead. I killed you. I killed you. You're actually deceased. Like, you don't even know it yet because of the shock. You're like, oh, I'm fine, I'm fine. In 10 seconds, you're going to be like, actually, I died back there, but the adrenaline has just artificially kept me going. I don't think I'll be able to catch up to anybody else, unfortunately. That's okay, though. Let's just crash ourselves into this post. Okay. If I can actually take down this bridge, that changes everything. Let's try. Those are load-bearing poles, man. Which is also the name of my adult entertainment company. I don't think I'll be able to do it. But how amazing would that be if I could? Try it again. Going pretty quick. Nah. Alright, well, this has been Next Car Game. I'm going to go back to the main menu. Very barren with respect to its features, but already an impressive, interesting, and fun game to play. Keep in mind, if you're going to purchase it, that it's only a tech demo. But, you know, good things on the horizon for Next Car Game. As always, thanks for watching. There will be a link in the video description below if you want to pick this up on Steam. Keep in mind all the caveats that I mentioned, but still, I think you can feel good about purchasing this if you've watched this video, digested the caveats, and still want to pick it up. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. That does help out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more videos in the future. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.